Hi, my name's Keith and I'm known as a Florida Stone Man. And today I'm going to make a very interesting video talking to you all about how to use the eclipse, how to harvest the eclipse, how to activate the eclipse to your energy. I'm going to talk about this eclipse in the sense of what it will do for you and what it won't do for you, what it will do to certain people. I'm not going to go into depth about what eclipses mean astrologically, more so because that's a topic for a different video. But what you need to know is they have wildfire energy. They're literally very wildfire in both Vedic and Eastern astrology, or Eastern and Western astrology. So that's the easiest way to explain it. Western astrology, eclipses is wildfire. Vedic, Eastern astrology, just complete wildfire as well. So what do I mean by wildfire? What do I mean? So solar eclipses are more intense. Lunar eclipses are a little less intense, but still intense. There's two heads. There's the head of the serpent and the tail of the serpent. So like I said, I'm not going to get into that in this video, but one thing you do have to know is everyone will be flipping out. Because the eclipses, like a lot of people are like, don't take the train system. So, okay, just in this video, I'm going to teach you how to use the eclipse. How to harvest the eclipse. How to utilize it. I'm going to say off the bat, the eclipse will make certain people, and this is the best time ever to become a manifester, like an active manifester. For people who start manifesting as a lifestyle around the eclipse, will reap so many rewards. The seeds that you plant around the eclipse that's coming up, wildfire, complete wildfire. So what I mean by wildfire is it's just the energy's in the air. The seeds you're planting are being like, they're super fertilizer. So some people might disagree with my video and be like, you can't do it, this is too much energy. Well, I have to tell you right now, people who will be set ablaze by this eclipse coming up. So energy vampires, people doing black magic, people who are away from God, people who have been energetically tested but not passed their tests, people who are not working their way to moving closer to God, people who are not ascending as a human, people, and yes, ascending, because I read some comments sometimes. I try to read all of them, but I'm making so many videos that I'll do my best to read all of them. I appreciate all your comments. The thing is, someone said, oh, you don't have to, just because you're on the earth doesn't mean you have to ascend. Well, where do you think you're going in the afterlife? You're going to go up or down? You're going to one of the two. You're going to Sheol, or you're going up there, or pockets in Sheol. You're going to different, and it's a giant surprise. People who disagree with their whole lives, right towards the very end of their life, when they know they're heading there, a lot of people in hospice will just be like, oh, that's actually really, that's it? That's real? That's what the story, I mean, people talked about that, and yes, it's real, okay? Facts don't change. They really don't. Circumstances can change, but facts like that don't. Now, back to this eclipse, because this eclipse is very, very intense. So, the eclipse is on my solar return, which is pretty cool. But this eclipse will be leveling spiritual people up. Like, this will flat up level up people. So people will have different manifesting abilities during and after the eclipse. So even this eclipse will just, people who are energy vampires on the other spectrum will just be irritable, upset, angry, mad, agitated. They won't be feeling themselves. People will be just grumpy. People will be moody. People are not going to feel themselves. People are going to be taking their anger out on others. People are just not going to be it. They're not going to be in it. People are going to be agitated. And for people who practice black magic, oh, there goes my phone. For people, because I use my hand as a rest on this, on my little thingy here, but for the people who practice black magic, oh, Lord have mercy on them, because they're going to be lit. Like, you know when you strike when you strike a match and it's just like that. So what happens when you walk into a room and full of cockroaches, and you turn on the lights? They start scattering. But for things that are not cockroaches, for things that are just who live there, it will be fine. So I highly recommend for people of light, people who are doing good, people who are doing right, to utilize the eclipse. And just utilize it if you're brave enough, which I'll teach you how. So one way that you can utilize the eclipse is by meditating. I've done this before in past eclipses. I've done this, and let's just say the eclipse stayed with me until now. Like you can save the eclipse energy is so strong. Even from the one in 2020, 21, it's still saved into my chakras. It engraved in my third eye. Like you can literally make an eclipse a part of you. You can download that energy. So you have that energy in you. And people are like, well, it's too much energy. Well, it literally, if you have a fire, but it's controlled, then you can make food with it. You can defend yourself with it, etc. At this point, it'll be a full-fledged flamethrower upon anyone who's trying to go after you spiritually. But one thing you can do on this eclipse is meditate under the eclipse. I'm not going to speak about looking at it because I won't even talk about it with glasses. Not talking about that on here. Not talking about that aspect, because guidelines and stuff like that. Yeah, I know what I can say and I know what I can't say, so I won't even go anywhere near that topic. If you want to learn about that, you can ask in the comment section, or you can DM me, but on Instagram or TikTok, etc. But meditate under the eclipse and visualize the eclipse's energy passing through all your chakras, and you'll be super tuned, and it stays with you. I still have the last eclipse in my third eye. It's lodged in there. I remember I started seeing faces, because my third eye wasn't as open as that until I started looking at it, and then I just started like, whoa. And you don't have to look at it with other eclipses, not this eclipse. So it's saved, and then how I can say it's like an imprint. It's like you do an exercise and your body remembers it. Same thing applies. So another thing you can do is meditate under it. Visualize it passing through your chakras. Feel it passing through your chakras. Feel its energy, and become the energy. Embody its energy. Just take it in. People are trying to fight it, but it's something that God put here to help us. He's not going to put something above us to make us scared, or no. But for people who are downloading this eclipse, this flat out eclipse is just going to set certain people spiritually on fire, who are just really bad people or negative people, etc. So this time, you better get your energy right. Make sure what you say is not countering what you want. What do I mean by that? What I'm saying is, make sure your manifestations are positive, because people are like, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm tired. Well, people have put out stuff because they want to be more relatable, and they'll complain, but it comes back to them. And if you do that around this time of year particularly, you'll feel it, but you won't recognize it until I just said it. But recognize your energy. Just practice between now and the 8th, and even a little bit after the 8th. Really identify what's coming out of your mouth, because the seeds are going to be in super fertilizer. So everything you're manifesting, if it's really good, so this is the best time to activate and control your manifestations. So any manifestations, money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I am loved, and therefore I'm deserving of love. Love comes to me, into my life, etc. Whatever. I am protected, I'm well directed. Versus for people, and you're not doing affirmations, you're a little bit, you're on autopilot. It's not kinda, it's whatever's around you is the circumstances and language and subconscious information that will be downloaded into your day. And if you see me looking around, yes, I'm looking around because it's Florida. I've opened my car and there's been iguanas there, and there's alligators in Florida. So yeah, I'm looking around, and there's people who pop up. I remember I didn't look behind me once, and someone popped up and said, "Nice crystals." I'm like, ah, and it's kind of funny. I said, I'm teaching about crystals on my YouTube channel. And he's like, well, I'm a Christian. And I said, well, crystals are in the Bible. And he actually took off running. I'm like, okay, that was an interesting interaction, but super interesting interaction. But the thing is, now is a time to practice positive affirmations, positive energy, because people are like, well, I do positive affirmations here and there. No, not here and there. Practice them daily, 2 to 3 times a day minimum. Do not miss it, because the seeds you plant now will be engraved into your future. So that's one thing you can do, is more positive affirmations, especially around this time, because if you're manifesting wealth and abundance, true love into your life, self-love, whatever seeds you plant now are going to be heavily reaped in the future. You're heavily going to be reaping those seeds in the future, and it's good for people who are good. So if you have family members, etc., who speak highly about themselves versus if they speak negatively about themselves, start correcting people around you that you really care about. For people who are like, because there are some people, I'm going to tell you right now, the people like, well, I have this kind of day and I want to relax, blah, blah. And like, you know, those Debbie Downers, it's like, well, like they always talk like this. Oh, those people will be really getting hit by this eclipse coming up. Like it won't be fun for them. So if you're one of those people, I'm not being mean, but change the way you talk right now, because you're going to be put on a very specific wavelength after that the eclipse happens and around the time period. So what I mean by that, around the time period, it's not just the eclipse, it's the entire time period. What if you're not directly under the eclipse? It doesn't matter, because it's literally gridding the entire United States, and the rest of the world can feel it as well to a certain degree. Yeah, so that's really important. So one thing you can do is meditate under the solar eclipse, more positive affirmations, and start writing them down. Don't well, I talk positively about myself here and there. Oh, I say an affirmation every now and then. No, that doesn't do it. When you say every other affirmation around, you say affirmations when you talk. When someone asks you how are you, you're literally saying an affirmation. Like, it's coming out of your mouth. Most people complain when you say how are you. Well, it's been too busy, like too many customers. Well, I'm actually not using a bad example as complaining, because I like to put more positive energy into the world. So like, oh, when people complain, they complain positively, but most people are complaining about super negative stuff, and that stuff around this time will manifest so heavily. So I'm keeping this video very, very simple. So you can do manifestations. When people say don't do manifestations if they're not going to work for you, or they're not, what I say not work for you is make sure you're saying something positive, because the negative stuff will heavily be coming back. I'm very excited to talk about this video. I'm like, oh, finally. Okay, I'm getting excited for what I'm going to say next, because I'm like, I had to leave this to the end. But okay, here we go. Eclipse water. Let me talk about eclipse water. I have to calm myself down, because eclipse water. Oh, you take water, for those who are under the solar eclipse or on the path of it, and you leave it out under the solar eclipse. You can do jugs, you can do whole bottles, but let it vacuum. Just the eclipse hitting the water alone. Now that's solar eclipse water. That's eclipse water. There's the bird sings behind me. I'm singing right now too on the inside. I'm like, woohoo! But this eclipse, and what can you do with solar eclipse water? Well, if you feel like someone's doing something bad with you and you take a bath with it, you can actually hit them with the eclipse. Do I have to say any more? How else can you use eclipse water? And if you don't have eclipse water, have someone else in a different part of the US do it for you, etc., if you can. So eclipse water. This, you take a bath with, you can drink it. Yes, you can drink it. Just don't leave it out around other things. What do I mean by other things? Don't leave it in the open. Like, put it in a private place so energies don't just pass through it. You can use it to cleanse your house. Because what if you have some form of stagnancy? It just eliminates the stagnancy. So eclipse water. And one thing I learned about eclipses is you can wash your crystals with your eclipse water that you get from floridastonian.com, the best crystals on the entire planet. Yeah, the best crystals on the entire planet. So you can put your crystals under the eclipse and you'll tune them. It seems like whenever you put a crystal under the eclipse's energies, from what my angels have said, is basically it's a temporary energy, but from what I kind of felt from them is I feel like they still have a fragment of the eclipse's energy in them. I don't know why. So, I mean, I do agree with my angels on everything they say, although sometimes I'm just like, well, what if I still feel them? So it could be that they save it at a subconscious level, which I think is it. So, and yes, coming from an angelologist, you have to be very receptive as to what your guides say, because sometimes you can think something different. It's like, okay, my guides are right, but Let me just think about it. Let me process it. That's why I say when you guys watch my videos, take everything I say for a grain of salt and a grain of pepper, because that's how you truly download it. So my angels are 100% right on that one. But I'm still incorporating it because that's how knowledge works. But really cool video. I'm just really excited. I get excited for these videos. I get excited in the car doing car videos. I'm like, ah! So if I talk really fast, I'm like, holding it back. So I have to, especially on the Eclipse water, for the people who watch the gems in this video. Very exciting event for people who are of light, moving closer to God. Last thing I'll say about this is your spiritual gifts will go to a new level. Like you'll just be able to do things you didn't know existed. That's all I'll say. Check out floridastoneman.com for the world's best crystal jewelry. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.